Good morning. It is what time? 6:25 a.m. on Friday, October 19th, 2018. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I have a little bit of a headache this morning for some reason. Not sure what that's about. But I did see a good movie yesterday. After work, I went to go see Bad Times at the El Royale, which I had been excited to see, but finally found the opportunity. This was a movie that I had appealed as soon as I saw the trailer, weeks and weeks ago. I just, immediately saw that and said, "Ooh, that looks fun." And it is, in fact, written and directed by Drew Goddard, I believe, who is the same guy responsible, at least in part, in most, for Cabin in the Woods, which is great. Um, And so this one is not, you know, supernatural or speculative fiction in the same way. It's more like a pulp thriller, but it's still very clever, very gorgeous to look at. It's got great stuff in it. I just absolutely adored this movie. It's my favorite movie of the year so far, for sure. Although it was funny as I was thinking that, I was trying to remember, I was like, what would have been my favorite movie before this? And I was like trying to remember, like, what movies actually came out this year? I don't know. But the point is that it made me think thoughts like, oh, this is my favorite movie so far this year, at least. I don't know. The point is, I really like it, and so the basic premise, you might say, is that there's this old, once fabulous but now kind of abandoned, not abandoned, still technically in operation, but not well used motel right on the border of California and Nevada, to the point where there's a big line running through the center of the lobby that is the state border. And so it's like you can stay on the California side or the Nevada side. And it's a whole thing as a part of a theme of this place. And the motel has more to it than it would seem, and some of that is actually given away in the trailer, which you might see as a big spoiler. But a lot of that part of it is actually revealed pretty early in the movie, so it's not like a big Act Two turn or anything like that. It's relatively early that you discover that aspect of it. But into this motel, which is more than it seems, arrive a number of guests who are each also individually more than they seem, and it's a suspense thriller as they work together. If it's definitely the sort of movie that inspires games like Fiasco. If you're familiar with that, it's a simple plan, or No Country for Old Men, and just in the sense that there's uh, generally speaking, it's pulpy, it's action, it's kind of nice thick meaty dialogue and scenery chewing and all of that sort of thing. And I don't want to get any more into specific details of character or plot. Suffice to say that the story surprised me several times in very satisfying ways, because sometimes a surprise or a twist just feels like it comes out of nowhere, and you're feeling like, well, okay, that was surprising because I had no way to predict that was going to happen, but it also doesn't feel like it means anything. It feels like it was a strange thing that happened designed to just surprise and have no weight to it. But in this one, there are several places where it's like, whoa, oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming. But then, as sort of, you know, the metaphorical camera sort of pans around to the other side, you start to see, oh, okay, I get it. I see why that happened. And it's very it's a pleasure watching the plot unfold. And a little bit like Pulp Fiction, it breaks itself into chapters that each kind of focus on different characters, and it jumps back and forth in time a little bit in uh, to show you different pieces of what each character is experiencing, and to give you background that maybe you didn't know. And it all just unfolds like a beautiful little piece of origami. And the Cynthia Erivo, I think. I'm not, I don't have the name in front of me, but um, is an African American actress that I don't think I've seen in anything before. I looked up her filmography, and it looks like this might actually be the first big movie she's been in to come out, and she's actually in a couple of other things that are in production. But she's wonderful. She is one of the the cast here, and she is you know she's doing her all there with you know matching wits with Jeff Bridges and John Hamm and Chris Hemsworth, and these big notable stars, and she's absolutely holding her own. She's wonderful. I think we're going to see a lot more from her. And I think if there were to be any criticism at all, it's actually not coming from me, but I think there are probably people who would say that they feel like it's too slowly paced, especially in the second half. So this is me attempting to get in the heads of hypothetical critics of the movie, but I didn't feel that way, honestly. I just loved every minute. I loved that it took its time. But yeah, there's definitely times where it's slow, but I felt like I was glad it was taking its time and not rushing things and lingering in the suspense and the moment. But I could see some people feeling like it's slow in places. But overall, to do the whole cliche thing, bad times at the El Royale is good times at the movie theater. Da 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 da. I will leave it there and talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.